I don't think so. We'll leave this. I've been a teacher, so I'm loud enough. Acha. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. There's an echo here. Can you just fix this? This is echoing. We'll hear a bell before we start. That's what we've been told. What brings you to ICSE? When I start the session, that's when I So let's see how it can be used for conservation education. That is what we are going to explore in this session today. Hello, ma'am. Please welcome. You can sit over there as well. It's a very typical classroom setting, be it school, colleges. Technology brings us all at the same platform, at the same level. We've been asked to wait for the bell to ring. That's all I'm waiting for. So I'll begin this session. I just got to know from my friend here from Abu Dhabi who has said that other sessions have begun, so I'll also start. So quick introduction. I am Neha. I am an environment educator for past 20 years. I have been a teacher in the beginning, and I have been with children. And over the course of past 2 decades, I have seen children changing a lot from what they used to be in 2000 to what they are today. They have better access to technology. They have more information. The classes are now in a position where it can be flipped, where children can take the lead, come forward. Okay, so technology has actually helped us flip the classroom very easily, brought the children forward with having better access to knowledge, better access to information. So, and that's what we are going to be talking about. And I think so a lot of things will come from from a lot of work that we have been doing at WWF India. That's the organization I work for. I joined WWF India 7 years back, and we have worked on some very unique programs, which I will be talking about during the course of this session. I have my colleagues, Saurav Chaudhary, who heads our Digital Resource Center and works in the formal school education work that we do all across the country. So apart from that, we also have a young speaker today who you will get to know soon. She's Harshita Parikh from Amity International School, Vasundhara, Ghaziabad. So you will get to hear her as well. So a lot of work that we do is also about children taking the lead, right? So just stepping back a little, talking about the organization that I am representing today, WWF India. Sorry, yeah, can you just help me with the slides? So WWF India, can anyone tell me what does it stand for? Sorry? World Wildlife, I heard. And for nature. I am very happy to know that nobody said some wrestling fund or something. A lot of people have come back saying, oh, what do you do at WWF? Aren't they some wrestling thing? Okay, that's jokes apart. It is Worldwide Fund for Nature. But before 1987, it used to be called World Wildlife Fund for Nature because our core aim was to conserve the wildlife across the country. It's an international non-profit organization which was started in the year 1961 in Gland, Switzerland. And in India, we started out in the year 1969. And education, ever since its inception, has been at the heart of WWF India. And that is the reason we started out with education programs in the first place. I don't know if you have heard about the Nature Clubs of India, but we ran the program for over 3 decades. And now, it has sort of become the Eco Club movement. So you will see Eco Clubs all across the country, but it was, it drew inspiration from the Nature Clubs of India. And we have a lot of, people who've been a part of Nature Clubs of India as stalwarts of conservation in the country. So we work in 75 plus locations across the country. There are field offices, there are state offices, with some of the offices having education as their mandate. So there are different types of programs that we do. Where, depending on the audience, we run programs for government schools, where we do a whole school education program. We run a quiz. We have been running a quiz called Wild Wisdom Quiz, which has now become a challenge. It's more than a quiz, where children can actually come learn about the environment, do take some action, and win some credits. So that's what we've been doing. Various divisions of some of them that you see over here are wildlife and habitats. So that's what we started out with when we were known as World Wildlife Fund for Nature. But eventually our work diversified because we started to understand that there are linkages between conservation of a species and its habitat with humanity's footprint. Okay, and that's how we started to work on other areas such as sustainable business, climate change and renewable energy, sustainable agriculture. And we started to touch upon other aspects of conservation. Illegal wildlife trade, as you see over here on the screen. So that's about our work all across the country. I've already told you our education work has been at the heart of all our programs. So education and training is an element of everything that we do across the country. WWF internationally comes out with a Living Planet report. Some of you may be aware. Every 2 years, we study 32,000 population of, over 5,000 species. So experts from various organizations, they study these species and they understand the pattern of decline. And they come out with a report, which is called the Living Planet report. This year's report, we have a teaser of the report. It's going to be launched in October. And the numbers year after year, are getting scarier and scarier. The number, the rate at which the species are declining the numbers are becoming, more grave every year. So as you can see that the curve of species decline is constantly going down. And it will take a lot of effort to bend this curve of nature loss. And it's going to take us a while to stabilize it. One is to stop further degradation and decline of the species loss. And the second is to, stabilize it. So that is something that, this particular graph represents. And moving on to the next slide. And that brings us to the fact that this is an SOS from the nature. Nature is calling for help. We like to believe that it's a very anthropocentric viewpoint when we say that nature is calling for help. It's the other way around. It's our very selfish interest, motive to sort of resurrect nature, bring it back, because nature is going to go on anyway. If any one of you has watched the movie Life on a Planet by David Attenborough, you will know that after that Chernobyl incident, there is this town in Russia where, the life has come back. Only the humans cannot live over there anymore. So this planet can very much do without us, but we cannot do without this planet. So it's, even though it, it says NSSOF for nature, but yeah, the main purpose is to, protect humanity. So 2020 this particular year has forced us to, stop and think. We have witnessed forest fires in Australia, in Amazon. We have on our very own Uttarakhand, we keep hearing it, time and again. Extreme weather, there have been so many cyclones and, such events have happened, and global pandemic. We are still not completely over it, even though it seems to have become an epidemic. Yet, there is still a scare. Every now and then you keep hearing, So we have we all realize that we have stepped back a great extent because of these happenings. So moving really fast on this, we have to, with this should come the realization. I know we are a small group of people who perhaps realize, and that's the reason why we are here. We realize the interconnectedness between human beings and nature, and that is the reason why we are here. But people out there who are not a part of this conference, maybe, or this discussion today, may not be aware. The world outside, we like to believe that, everybody maybe knows this and, but people actually do not understand. And for them, it's business as usual. So my purpose over here is that how each one of you sitting here in this room becomes the ambassador and takes the message forward and has the ability to question people who are impacting the environment. Of course, it also calls for you checking your own actions in the first place. Otherwise, we all know that, we will be pointed out if we do not practice or what we preach, right? So that's an important thing that, we must realize that environment conservation is the only choice we have. We save our environment. That's the only choice we have. If we want to continue to, have water security, food security, we are already struggling with the, climate change. We are witnessing it every day. I mean, it's the first time in many, many years I have realized, it could be for multiple other reasons. I've grown old maybe, or, maybe I have put on weight because of the pandemic or whatever, but I have actually started to experience breathing issues for the first time. And I'm a very healthy person with a very healthy lifestyle, yet I'm experiencing that. So it's the first time I have felt the extreme of it, right? So I'm sure very soon nobody will be left from, not experiencing this. So that's the whole thing. Our planet today is constantly declining. One other click, please. And it's really the time that we reconceive environment education. Like I told you, that education lies at the crux of all conservation work, because it's not just the job of the scientists and the experts, like ma'am, and few individuals, but each one of us. I think so. It has been said n number of times during this plenary session since morning that it's time we start to rethink. We start to, step back and see how, we are looking at environment education. So it's time to definitely, build back our planet, and we sure will have to build it back better, and how education can play a big role. I think so. I spent a lot of time in building the context, even though the main theme is technology, but because our core objective is sustainability and building back the planet better. Technology is a tool for it. So I spent some time pushing people to think, why are we even talking technology today, right? Can I have the next slide? Yeah, so education, what it has been so far, in India is not just what we have been seeing around in the cities. Still, we have a large population, perhaps sitting this way and studying. When we, do any program and we have to do projections, if it is for a government school, it's at a different scale. When we work with private schools, the scale is very different. So this is the larger scale for all of us when we look at the government school system. And they are the ones who will have to be included, right? So most of our country are still, this being educated in the same archaic manner. What you see over here are, there is a massive digital divide. I'm just now building this context to, how technology is relevant. And we do have, IT infrastructures which is yet to penetrate into the education system and reach the last child in the country, right? So a lot of us also, maybe working with the government school system. A lot of private schools I know who work with the government schools in their vicinity and do programs with them, and they know there is a stark difference between the kind of exposure that private school children get to what the government school children have access to, right? So education in 2020 and beyond, needs to align with the vision of the country to, there is a digital India, smart India, vision that we all talk about. But how do we get there? How do we know that the entire population is benefited from this, this movement? So one of the most notable development in remote education, and you will all agree with me when I say that in the past 2 years, when we did not have any choice but to go digital, we have moved forward by leaps and bounds in terms of technology. You can see a child, even, people from the underprivileged background also having access to technology. They may not be having 4G, 5G, but they do have access to technology. Teachers have also found out ways to, they have kind of moved forward. They have built their own capacity to use the digital medium to reach out to their children. They may not have achieved the 100% of their capacity or 100% of what they should ideally be achieving, but they have definitely moved 2 to 3 times ahead in the league of using digital for their students. All right, moving further. So I would now invite my colleague Saurabh, who has helped us, in developing our digital resource center, to take you through a little background on technology, right? So I have talked about conservation and a little bit on education and the role of technology. I think so Saurabh is the right person to talk about it. So over to you.
A very, very warm good evening to everyone here. Thank you so much for being here. So the word technology is very, very close to my heart. Why? Because I'm an engineer. Now, the very natural question after this is, what does an engineer do in WWF? So believe me or not, every person I talk to and about my job that I work at WWF, the very first question that anybody asks me is, what are you doing at WWF? So my response to them is, why is it surprising for you? Because as engineers, we are the implementators for technology, right? And technology, by definition, means using science for a practical purpose. So, but of course, technology is required in education, in conservation education. Now, coming to the slide, there's a question right here. And I want us all to actually think how technology has affected the way we communicate, the way we learn, and the way we think. We can all take 15 seconds to think of some examples, and I want everyone to participate and just give a few examples of how technology has affected the way we live. Anybody who would like to participate? Yeah, we are connecting. Yeah. Of course, very good point. That now to connect with our friends as well, we just do with a couple of clicks, we can do a video call and we can do a face-to-face interaction with even our friends. Meetings and meeting people across the globe is very, very easy for us. Anybody else with another?
They said that virtually a person can be present through the technology in a classroom and can teach the children. So like not through the video calling, but virtually the person can be, the image of the person will be created. So if that is going to happen, You see where the technology are each and every home appliances, they are with the help of, and we have become so lethargic that even if we have to get up and switch on the fan, so for that also we think, कि अच्छा इसका भी remote ले लेते हैं. So, so the thing is कि this is that technology has become an integral part of our lifestyle, and we believe that we cannot live without it. So that is the impact of technology.
Another great point here. Anybody? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Right. 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 Okay. All right. So, ma'am, just a different perspective to that is not a different perspective. Of course, I agree with what you say, but technology is just a tool. It's a facilitator for us, and it's on us how we use the power of technology or what technology makes us do. If we let technology control ourselves, of course, there will be a divide, and there is a digital divide. We are going to talk about that as well. But yeah, what I like thinking, yeah. Right, right, right.
Pushed us to step out. I am so happy to be meeting you face to face. I don't like to do online training and this. I'm so happy to be here. Schools like nothing already without that was trying to get there. Now technology cannot replace human touch. But yes, living without technology. How see? Yeah, slowly. We are the generation who have seen black and white. We are the generation who is. I think so. That is what is the point of discussion today. We are seeing technology as a tool. And we cannot stop children from having access, or for individuals from having access to technology. If that is the case, then why not offer them something constructive? And that's what we are looking at it.
Right.
Right. So let's see what we can offer to our children today, and not just look at one aspect. Very detrimental. I hate it too. As much. So,
Yeah. So one example that I can think of is even though I'm wearing a watch all the time, if anybody comes and asks what's the time, so my natural reaction instead of looking at the watch is look, where's my phone? And so technology has become, yes, it's very true. Technology has become an integral part of our life. And what we can see is there's a great technology boom, and children nowadays are so much comfortable with technology, and they are so good with technology. So I'm a millennial, and so we take it as a very proud thing that we are, good with technology, and we are teaching our parents how to use this, that. But kids nowadays are even better than us. So just the other day, I was trying to help my mom connect her smartwatch with a phone, and I was unable to sync it somehow. And so my little cousin, who is in class 5th, comes and says, yeah, just do these two things. And he synced it, and he was done with it. So yes, of course, kids nowadays are very, very acquainted to technology, and they must be prepared for the jobs of tomorrow. So moving forward, understanding the power of technology is also very, very important. As you can see, by 2025, the penetration of internet in India is supposed to grow by 45%. And there will be 900 million plus internet users in India. That means reaching out to people just in our country. If you see the global numbers, we'll all be in awe, but reaching out to people has become this much easier. And so education technology. So we all have different perspectives about whether EdTech is working or not, but we cannot let it go. EdTech is there and is impacting our lives. So even if we have to just search for a simple fact or what's going on, we'll use the internet. So education technology is there. And the market size of educational technology is supposed to grow by 39.77% CGR. That's a huge number. And this is just in India. By the way, if we just compare it with the global number is around 16.5. So India is growing faster here than the rest of the world. And that's a huge thing for us to notice. And can you go back to the last slide? So, and when we are talking about EdTech or education technology, we think it's majorly the youth who use the technology or people who are preparing for a particular exam. But what we don't know is that 40% of this EdTech market is being held by K-12 education. And this is the biggest number. The rest of the numbers are way below this. That means school children are the ones who are using EdTech the most. So this slide shows us how powerful technology has become in our lives. So the need of inclusion of technology in the conservation education. There is a nature deficit in the urban ecosystem. So kids nowadays are taught the concepts of conservation, pollution, sustainable lifestyle. But what they lack is the connection with the nature. They move out of their classrooms to see cars, roads, building, blocks. They are not connected with the nature, and they might find it difficult to understand what's the need for conservation. Why do we need to save forest? What is it in it for me? So there is a nature deficit in the urban ecosystem. And there is a digital divide and slow dissemination of content. Indigenous people who are living in the rural areas, they might find it difficult to access the latest technology, the content, the resources. And yes, of course, as Neha said, there is a need for urgent action in the conservation education, because education is what drives change, and conservation cannot happen without change. So moving forward, we spoke about how technology is important, how technology has become a part of our lives. Now let's understand what opportunities technology provide us. Technology has provided us a platform for global learning and engagement. Now, no voice goes unheard. We have social media platforms through which we can talk about our feelings, what our thoughts are, how we would like to change the world. It has given us a platform to connect with people around the world. Geographical barrier is not a limiter anymore. Then technology has provided us personalized learning experience. So in a classroom, when a teacher is teaching, there are different types of kids. And yes, of course, the teacher tries to, give knowledge to everybody, how they learn, but every individual is different. It's not possible for the teacher to satisfy everybody's needs, but there are online self-paced courses which will adapt to the way you want to learn. Technology has given us data-powered research. So data can tell us anything and everything. Data can even help us predict the future. And through data, we can understand what's happening to our environment, how we can help our environment to become better, and how we can help save our future. And then we have tools of tomorrow. Technology has made learning so fun, so easy, and so innovative. We will see a few examples. There are QR codes right here. We'll go to those, and we'll see how tools of tomorrow has changed the entire learning ecosystem. Okay, so global platform for engagement, knowledge and guidance. So one of the biggest things in learning is actually taking guidance from experts. And so when the geographical barrier was a huge limiter, there were, you will be dependent on whether you have the expertise in your area or in your country, but now it's no longer a problem. You have experts from around the world who can guide you through online courses, through conferences, through video calls. And then building collaboration is very, very easy nowadays because transfer of knowledge is has become easily available for all of us. Data powered research. So this is one of my favorite areas. Data can tell us everything. Collection of ecological data. Now through data, we can identify what is the health of a particular ecosystem. We can identify what are the threats to a particular ecosystem. We can predict what is going to happen in a few years, and we can try and prevent it. So it's no longer a feeling anymore that the environment is degrading. We know through the power of data that it is, and we have to take action for it. We all know the AQI of Delhi is very, very bad. And we keep getting that notification in our phones. We keep seeing it in our metro stations and we just keep ignoring it. But that is data showing us exactly what's happening right this hour. And an urgent action is required for it. So that data has given us the power of knowledge. And through that knowledge, we can excel. So there are a few examples of how data has enabled us to understand our biodiversity, how to monitor our biodiversity, how to analyze our biodiversity, and taking the action further into protecting our biodiversity. So now I would like to give the mic to Neha again.
Can I go back to the previous slide so I can talk about something very interesting over here? What you saw over here is GIS mapping, which marks the sacred groves of Himachal. Sorry, I'm in front of the projector screen. Yeah, which marks, and these are all satellite images. We have come up with biodiversity maps driven by data based with the GIS technology. So apart from that, one small example, we were doing a project called Mission Million Trees, where we planted about 1 lakh trees across various locations in the country. And you all would know that most of the plantation drives, they do not succeed for the reason that there are very few saplings that survive. Right now, we have started to geotag those trees so that we can track the status of the tree, and we can tell which trees survived and which did not. So technology has enabled us to do that. In fact, on my birthday, I was gifted a couple of trees which were geotagged, and I could, at any given point of time, I could go and check how the tree is doing. Right? So technology has enabled us to do so many things. And how many of us know about it? How many of us can actually, donate a tree and also know what's happening to the tree? When you give out, invest into something, you hope that it helps. It is for the good cause and it helps people, right? And technology helps you to track that. So that is something very interesting. And a couple of other examples we will be talking about: data accumulation. We have been doing a consensus of dragonflies and damselflies in various wetlands. For example, Harike. We have done a few here in Sundar Nursery, where we will be organizing a trail on Sunday morning. So I'm also taking this opportunity to invite all of you for that trail. And that data, the observation and the recordings have been uploaded on the India Biodiversity Portal by the citizens who join us for these citizen engagement program. So our Dragonfly Festival is ongoing at the moment. If you want, you can get more information. The QR code is right up on the screen. Moving on, a wonder of technology I'd like to share with you. So this happens to be the year of the tiger. It happens after every 12 years. The last year of the tiger was 2010, where we all the 13 tiger range countries, they came together and then they sort of resolved to double the number of tigers, right? And by the next year of the tiger, which is this year. And unfortunately, we haven't done great, but we want to kind of take this cause further. And this year we organized an International Tiger Youth Summit where we had youth from all tiger range countries, 13 tiger range countries, come at a single platform and share their views. They came up with a declaration with a set of recommendations for various stakeholders. Because you must have heard, conservation needs a multi-stakeholder approach. There were recommendations for government, for their respective governments, for businesses, industries, education agencies. So they had recommendations for them and, raise their voice to conserve tigers for their future. All right. So there's a little video, I think. So it's going to be very powerful. And there are some young people sitting in this room, which can be very inspiring for them and also, sort of realize the power of a youth voice. So here's the video for all of you.
And reaffirm our commitment to conserving these wildcats in the coming decades, we ask the next generation of young tiger conservationists from around the globe some questions about the wildcats and their habitats. So let's hear what they have to share.
Tigers are beautiful, magnificent animals whose symbolically linked to India's culture and history. Do you want your great-grandson to not get the chance to see a tiger? What is wrong with you? Save the tiger.
So in my language, we got one idiom, trễ còn hơn không, which means it's better to be late than never. I want my child to continue to see these wonderful tigers, so we have to act now.
On the World Tiger Day, my message is to everyone to save nature by protecting tigers.
My message for everyone would be let's take our part in saving tiger together.
On World Tiger Day, the main message that I want to convey to everyone is that help us to promote a global system for protecting the natural habitat of tigers and help us to raise public awareness and support for tiger conservation issues.
My message to everyone on World Tigers Day is to read more about tigers as a species and get to know why they are important for us.
So my last message is let's protect tiger for a thriving natural environment and humanity.
Save tigers for a future where people and nature can thrive.
Together, we can save our one shared home.
Together we can save our shared home.
Save forest, save tiger.
Okay, today morning, I was mighty impressed by Mr. Richard McDonald, who talked about the 5 elements, and he said that, intercultural culturalism is very, very important. And I think so that would never have been possible had we not had the back of technology with us. It didn't just get these 13 youth from 13 tiger range countries to come together at a common platform, but also go back and create impact in their own countries. So it is on, and also understand, what is the status of tiger in their country through data, through science, through multiple other ways that technology, tools that technology offers them, right? Moving on. Yes, and Saurav did talk about personalized learning. I'll give you a quick example. So virtual medium allows you to, learn at your own pace. I'll give one quick example which all of you can relate with. You have a Netflix series 3 seasons, 10 episodes each. Now it is upon you whether you want to watch all 30 episodes at one go. A lot of young people are laughing because we all tend to binge watch. Or you discipline yourself and say, okay, I will watch only 1 episode. All right. That's not possible. They're so gripping, right? So that's a personalized interaction. It's your own choice. And you have technology in form of your phone. You have it in your hand at any given point of time. And your phone is your mini laptop. There are many people who would perhaps not go to their laptop for a couple of days, but cannot do even, a couple of minutes without their phones, right? You will always want to check your phone. We've gotten to that. So that's what technology enables us. Again, some of you would I can see you already cringing listening to this, but yeah, and that's there. That's the reality of the time, right? And we cannot ignore that. We have to acknowledge that. It is a that's why I said, I completely agree. It's a tool, how we use it. We have a knife, how we use the knife in the house is upon us. It can be a very bad tool, but none of us can do without it, right? It's there and it's needed. It gives you a multi-sensory approach through touch. Technology has made it possible for us to touch and, navigate through things. It gives us visual experience. It gives us audio experience. So, of course, technology offers you all of that. Personalization at scale. You can reach out to many, many people through technology. One quick example would be something that I'll be talking about quickly. And it's a medium that young learners already have an affinity to. You cannot say that children, even a 2-year-old who cannot maybe type a word, but will be able to find their favorite video on YouTube. You will all agree with me. I have seen this, every single child doing this in today's time. Moving forward, when I say personalization at scale, during the pandemic, we started a program called One Earth, One Home. It was actually, we were doing a program on the ground in this school called Ek Prithvi. It was not possible because the schools were shut. So we were forced to shut down that program. What we did was, whatever resources we had in our hand, we converted all of them into videos, worksheets that could be replicated on a piece of paper, and we created a digital program called One Earth, One Home out of it, and it could be sent to the children to their homes. And it was a program designed in a way that the entire family was engaged into making a sustainable home. So it was about connecting with nature within their homes, so that, because our home is not just our home, we have a lot of biodiversity. There are ants, lizards, spiders living in our homes. Do we ever observe them, or we just, ignore? In our gardens, we have birds, butterflies, wasps. So we have so much of biodiversity around us. How many of us take out time to observe it closely, study them a little more? So that's what this program did. It connected children with biodiversity within their home, in their backyard, because they could not step out. As a part of this program, they conducted home audits. The entire family together had meetings, sat down and decided upon one project that they could undertake to make their home sustainable. And we got amazing responses. There were over 30 million children who became a part of this program, and which is why we say that it is personalization at scale. What you see is another program that children led for us was a podcast. All right, and it is again present on the Digital Resource Center called One Planet Academy. The QR code is right over there. So if we have time, we will go through that. Next slide, please. So tools of tomorrow, I'll request my colleague Sulagna, who has been working on these projects, to talk a little bit more. And I think so this is the time when she will help you experience all of it. Yeah.
So before we start, what I want you all to do is please stand up and close your eyes. The only thing you will be focusing on will be on my voice. But you will be feeling certain things. You will be also hearing certain things. Try to identify as many as things you can. Okay? So I want you guys to hold your noses and lift up your left arm. And now you can put your hand down and keep holding your noses. Release the nose and give a high five to the person in front of you randomly. It could be miss, hit or miss. It's okay. Try it out. Okay. And now you can open your eyes. Please have a seat. Can you tell me, while I was speaking to you, what did you feel? Anyone? It's not right or wrong. Whatever you felt. What did you feel? Okay, you heard. What did you hear? Okay, let's first go with the easy one. What did you hear? Apart from instructions, chirping of birds, flowing water, click, click. Okay. The air coming out of the AC. Moving chairs. Okay. When you are following the instruction, what I was telling you, hold your hands. Were you feeling awkward about it? A bit? Yeah. Why is that? Okay. Hold my nose. Okay. Let it. Okay. But it was everything what I was doing, like we were doing, leads to experiential learning. It's about the 5 senses. You were hearing certain things apart from my. When you were closing your eyes, you were wondering, okay, what is exactly happening? So you were thinking also, might not seeing, right? You were feeling it's cold out here. And it feels like Iceland. I can see Neha shivering also sometimes. Yeah. So this is all comes under your stimulated reality and experiential learning. And if you want to experience forest from your home, you have a 360-degree environment that is called One Earth, One Quest. You can explore that. The second part of it is how many of you likes to play game, either Candy Crush, PUBG. We can do that. A quick view. Okay, can you tell me about it? How was your experience?
Yes, I use this one virtual tour of the forest, and as a like bete I was in the forest. I can look up and down here, left and right, whole side of mine.
Does it?
So it will take you on a guided tour. So in between the tour, you will be able to drag and move around, see the sky, and see even a termite mound. You will be able to experience the whole forest. This particular video has been shot in in the core forest of Uttarakhand, and I don't think so it will be possible for everybody to visit this place, but you can experience. Technology enables you to experience this from the comfort of your homes. All right, so you will be able to navigate through the entire thing. During this journey, there is a trail that you can follow. It will give you a lot of PDFs. It will give you a lot of games. There is a night walk game, as if you are on a night safari, and you will be able to explore various animals found in Uttarakhand. Right? There are some info cards which you will be able to check. All you have to do is, as you can see, Saurabh is navigating through this. you will be able to experience the whole forest. And while you're doing that, you will be able to learn a lot of things about the forest. We are working on more ecosystem. This is, currently only the forest ecosystem that we have. So you see, there is an entire journey ending with a quiz. So it's a very, it's for children. It's very, very, multi-sensory. It kind of gives you a lot of interesting PDFs. You can come back, continue your journey. So it's pretty interesting. I would request you all to try it out. All you have to do is go to One Planet Academy, which is our digital resource center. Go to the e-library and click on One Earth, One Quest at a time. Okay, so this is the forest quest. There are more quests which will be coming up. They're in process of development. Yeah, sorry, over to you.
So these scan QR codes are also at the, you can say near the auditorium. You can check it out over there. Okay, over to the session, please. Okay, till the time they are putting it up. The second part is about gaming. So I was talking about the games. So how many of you have not played any online games? Is there anybody in the room who has not played any game? Okay, there is one person. Okay, 2 person. Okay, so basically the idea about, sorry? Oh, please, ma'am. So there is also, like, if you go to the resource hub, which I will be talking about, there are a lot of games which are there where you can actually learn things. So there are a lot of online quizzes which are available, not only about environment education, but also about other mainstream subjects also. So that is another way of learning things. The third part is about, okay. No worries. No worries. And the third thing we will be talking about is Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? Anybody, any idea? Random idea. I know you know, Saurabh. Right. So, correct. No, it's a part of it. So it's basically, how many of us have used Google Maps? WhatsApp? Facebook? So the thing is, each of us are doing certain things in terms of hashtag technology, and unknowingly it is part of our life. Whenever we are getting, like Saurabh said, whenever somebody asks him a time, he does not look at the watch, he looks at the phone. Most of us, whenever we are asked about कि ये जगह कहाँ पे है, the first thing we do is Google Map देखो कहाँ है, उसके आसपास का area, how it is connected, right? So those are part of Internet of Things. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, cool. Forward, please. Neha has already talked about it. So we had been like doing certain experimentation. One Neha spoke about is our resource hub, One Planet Academy. Then there was like a lot of virtual conferences and events which we have done. One of them is model conferences of party, where from across India, there are around like representation from, yeah, 36 days. Yeah, I was counting 36 or 37. So 36 states and union territories, students from across India came together, and in the first year, they charted out the Delhi Declaration. And in the second year, another set of new students came together to make the action plans towards us. And this year, they made another new action plan out of Delhi Declaration. So today I'm going to invite a very young, but very, and I can see her friend smiling, wishing her luck, Harshita Parekh. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sulagna ma'am. And a very good evening to one and all present here. Thank you for being here. And well, I'm just going to come straight to the point because already we've discussed a lot of basic things that have been happening. And we are all aware of how the world is continuously evolving. It's changing and we get to see new updates every now and then. And the number one reason, as all my mentors already mentioned, is obviously technology. And we all know it's a fast-paced world and we're just moving along with it. But just like every other thing on this planet, it too has its demerits. And since this is a biodiversity-centric organization and we're talking about that, so it does affect biodiversity and not in a very positive way. Because let's take a very basic instance of the telephone towers. So for the installation of it, we need to seep deep into the soil, and it damages the pH, obviously, and also it removes the upper layer of the soil, also causing the disruption of the habitats of the birds, basically nature, basically causing the disruption of nature. And would it be wrong if I say that nature is living? Would it? No, it is living, right? So nature is living and life has a way of getting back at us. So we all have heard the phrase that what goes around comes back around. And so is the case with nature. Let's take this very recent example of the Bangalore floods. What happens there? There was this river which had been dead for nearly 3 decades and it suddenly came alive. And obviously, I think that human disruption did play an important role in it. And so it did in the pandemic as well, because that's what was the major cause of it, right? And for taking all this points out to one particular thing, and that is that we really do need to take action. We need to do something for it. And taking action on such a massive scale would mean communication. And what better tool of communicating than technology? And it's not like we're not using it at all. It's just like we're not using it in the right direction, maybe. Just a minute. I'm so sorry. I myself, being a teenager, find it astonishing that we need to check our phones for every minute discomfort that is happening. I am so sick of this paper. This is very hassle-some, and I wish I had my phone to look at it, but we cannot. And technology has been a boon and a bane for children, for the youth, for us as individuals, and depending on how we utilize it. So it's pretty much up to us. Like, for example, if I take this very basic instance of social media, and which I may call that the new times of India, because that is where we get most of the information these days, all the updates that have been happening in the world. For example, yesterday, we heard about the sad demise of Queen Elizabeth II, and I did not get the information from news or newspapers. I got it from a post that was shared by my friend who's sitting right here. So that's where we get our information from. And now it depends on us how we utilize social media. Do we utilize it for spreading awareness or a positive mass movement towards a higher goal, just like our previous MCOP leaders did? They carried out online campaigns, they made online pages, posts, and carried out the implementation of their own initiated action plans, and they're still doing their bit. So we need to choose whom we want to be. Just the social body or a difference making social body. Even the government is coming up with schemes and ideas of introducing all these technology based online learning platforms for making each and every individual tech savvy enough to be able to access these online platforms to mold their future for the better. And with this very tool of this online learning, this event that I'm speaking right about was born, MCOP. The Model Conference of Parties would not have been possible if it weren't for this pandemic. Because imagine how it would have been possible to assemble all the 72 delegates from all the states and union territories, even from the remotest of areas. It would have been hassle for the presenters, the participants, as well as the organizers. So technology, the online platform played a very important role in it. And it brought us together, and in a more efficient way, because it was amazing that how we could share the links, we could present our ideas, we could ideate together, we could communicate. And that wasn't even the best part of it. The best part was that it is not country centric, it's worldwide. We had our experts from all over the world, dignitaries that I couldn't even imagine having physically around here. And even now we're having this in hybrid mode, right? So even now I know that a lot of people couldn't be here physically, but they are sure watching us online. So that's how technology has implemented us. And MCOP gave me an experience for all this. It taught me patience, it taught me negotiation, team spirit, obviously. But one thing that it gave me, and that is going to last with me forever, is to live a life with purpose. A purpose that is beneficial not only for me, but the world, for every living entity on this planet, for that matter. And as for being a part of MCOP for a few months now, I can say that each and every delegate that was with me, that is still a part of MCOP, is doing their bit. Did their bit, is still doing their bit, and are working because just for one purpose, and that is the satisfaction. The satisfaction we get after working for our existence. By working towards it, that something makes our very existence possible. And that, my dear audience, is something that we can ponder upon and work towards. So with this, I would like to thank you all for being here.
Just to add to what Harshita is saying is, the delegates, they came up with action plans. There was delegates from 6 different states who worked on a common action plan. And as we speak right now, these groups are actually working on implementing these action plans on the ground. So it was technology that made it possible. There's something I've started to do. I don't carry my visiting cards anymore. I have a soft copy of it on my phone. If I have to share my visiting card, either I show it and people can click a picture, or I just WhatsApp it. So yeah, I'm using technology for a greater purpose. So I say that technology can also help us with sustainability. So I am looking at ways in which I can practice sustainability through technology. You must have all heard about lots and lots of platforms which help you map your ecological footprint. There are websites through which you can do that. There are also interesting apps, something, I don't know if you know of it, Cool Globe, where you can on daily basis enter your footprint, the amount of hours for which you have driven your car, or the amount of electricity you have used, or amount of water you have consumed. There are apps. So technology does offer solutions to live a sustainable life. It's all for us to explore. Thank you so much for joining us. I would request you all to please, the QR codes are displayed upstairs as well. If you want to explore any of the applications that we've shown you just now, just scan the QR code and it will take you to the respective URL. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take those. Yeah. No questions? All right. Thank you so much.